Last Thursday my phone buzzed during lunch. Mom's message appeared like a knife. Stay away, don't contact us again, this is over. My name is Sarah Mitchell, I'm 27 and I fix computers for a living in Phoenix, Arizona. I stared at those words for maybe 3 minutes, then I wrote back just 2 words. Okay, Mom. For 10 years I'd been paying everything. Doctor visits when Mom got sick. Fixing Dad's broken trucks, bailing out my sister Emma when she crashed her car twice. I thought that's what family meant, helping each other. But that night I finally understood something important. They didn't love me, they loved my wallet. By 9 p.m. my phone started ringing, over and over and over, but they weren't calling because they missed me. They were calling because the money stopped. If your family ever made you feel invisible, write a comment below. You're not the only one who feels this way. I grew up in a tiny house with cracked walls and a roof that leaked when it rained. Dad owned 3 old tow trucks. He'd yell a lot, especially when things broke. Mom would cook and clean and pretend everything was perfect, even when it wasn't. And me, I was the kid who got good grades but nobody noticed. I loved computers. I'd take apart old laptops and put them back together just for fun. When I told Dad I wanted to study computer science, he laughed really hard. It's nerd stuff, Sarah, real people work with their hands. Mom just looked at the floor, she never disagreed with Dad, not once. When I turned 18, I left home with 1 backpack and $200 I'd saved from babysitting. Dad's last words still hurt when I think about them. You'll come crawling back when life gets hard. Life did get hard. I worked at a coffee shop during the day and studied at night. I ate cheap noodles for dinner and walked everywhere to save bus money. But I didn't quit. By 22 I had my own computer repair business. By 25 I was making more money than Dad ever did. But at home, nothing changed. To them I was still just little Sarah who plays with computers. Emma, my younger sister, was the star. She wanted to be a fashion designer. When she failed a class, Dad said, "School isn't for everyone, sweetheart." When I got a B once, I got grounded for a month. Emma forgot to pay her credit card 5 times. Dad covered it every time. "She's still learning," he'd say with a smile. When I was late to Christmas dinner because a client's computer crashed, Mom gave me the cold shoulder for weeks. I sent money every month, Mom's heart medication. Dad's truck repairs, Emma's rent when she couldn't pay, they called it helping out the family. I called it HOPING, they'd finally see me as someone who mattered. Late at night, after fixing someone's broken laptop, I'd imagine Mom saying, "Sarah, I'm so proud of you." But those words only existed in my head. I paid their bills. They erased my name from the family story. 3 years ago, I decided to do something big. My computer business was growing fast and I wanted to open a real shop. Not just working from my apartment, but a real store where people could walk in. I needed $50,000 to make it happen. So I drove to my parents' house on a Sunday afternoon. I brought a folder with all my plans, photos of possible store locations, and a calculator. I just wanted them to invest in me. Not give me money, but be partners in something real. Dad sat in his old recliner, arms crossed like always. Mom was washing dishes, avoiding my eyes like usual. Emma was texting on her phone, not even pretending to listen. Her boyfriend Michael was the only one who smiled at me when I walked in. I opened my folder on the coffee table. "This isn't just a dream," I said. "This is a real opportunity. Tech repair is exploding right now and I can be the first shop in our neighborhood." Dad snorted. "People just buy new computers, Sarah, nobody fixes old junk anymore." My chest felt tight, but I kept going. "Actually, Dad, I've done the research. Lots of people can't afford new ones, they need repair services." Emma rolled her eyes. "Sounds boring, maybe stick to fixing laptops in your apartment." The room went quiet, that heavy kind of quiet that makes your ears ring. Mom kept scrubbing the same plate over and over, her way of staying out of trouble. I looked at her. "Mom, you've seen how hard I work, you know I can do this." She paused, then whispered, "It just seems risky, honey, you know how your father feels." Risky, that word felt like a slap. Then Michael, Emma's boyfriend, spoke up. "I think it's smart," he said quietly. "Small businesses are the backbone of America." His words gave me hope for exactly 2 seconds, then Emma shot him a look that could freeze water and he went silent. Dad leaned back. "We're not wasting money on this. Emma's starting her clothing line, that's where our money's going." I closed my folder. Nobody said goodbye when I left. 2 weeks after that meeting, the truth came out, and it came from the last person I expected, Michael. We met at a park near downtown. He looked nervous, kept checking over his shoulder like someone was following him. "Sarah," he said, his voice shaking, "there's something you need to know about Emma." I felt my stomach drop. "Emma's been stealing money from your parents," he whispered. "She's been taking cash from your dad's business account for years. Thousands and thousands of dollars." My brain felt foggy. "What? She's been hiding it. Fake expenses, fake invoices, all of it. She's been lying to everyone. Suddenly, everything made sense. The mysterious shortages in Dad's business, the times he blamed rising costs while Emma bought designer purses and new shoes every week. Michael's hands were shaking. I found the bank statements, Sarah. Your parents know about it. They just don't want to admit their perfect daughter could do something wrong. They know, I asked, my voice too loud. He nodded. They'd rather pretend it's fine than deal with the truth. Something inside me turned to ice. For years I'd been the ATM machine, sending money, covering emergencies, being the responsible one. And the whole time Emma was stealing and my parents were letting it happen. That night I drove to my parents' house. I didn't go inside. I just stood outside the kitchen window where the light was on. Through the glass I could see them. Dad reading the newspaper, Mom folding laundry. They looked like a normal family, a family that never had room for me. Then I heard Dad's voice through the cracked window. We need to update the will. Emma's the only one who understands family loyalty. Mom's voice was softer, but Sarah's given us so much money over the years. Dad cut her off. Money doesn't equal love. Emma's our legacy. Sarah chose computers over us. I stood there in the dark, frozen. Every bill I'd paid, every sacrifice I'd made, all of it meant nothing. My name wasn't in their future. I wasn't their daughter. I was their backup bank account. I walked back to my car, hands shaking but eyes dry. For the first time in my life I wasn't sad, I was done. The next morning Mom's text arrived. Don't call or come over, we're done. I stared at those words. My apartment was so quiet, the kind of quiet that screams. I scrolled through old messages, birthday wishes, thank you notes for paid bills. Every message looked like a receipt now. Proof that love in my family always had a price tag. I typed 2 words, got it, and that's when their world started falling apart. Because the second I stopped answering, they suddenly couldn't stop calling. Something inside me cracked, but not in a breaking way, in a waking up way. I'd been funding their lives, their mistakes, their lies. And now when I needed support, they offered nothing but rejection. I logged into my bank account. Every automatic payment I'd ever set up for them appeared on my screen. Mom's prescriptions, Dad's truck insurance, Emma's phone bill. I cancelled every single one. Click, click, click. Each confirmation email felt like taking off a heavy backpack I'd been carrying for years. For 10 years I'd been their safety net, the silent hero nobody thanked. Now I was cutting the net. That night I turned off my phone and sat by my window. Phoenix looked beautiful at night, all those lights spreading out like stars on the ground. I remembered the first time Dad called me helpful. It was after I paid for Mom's emergency room visit. Back then I thought it meant he loved me. Now I know it just meant I was useful. That thought didn't hurt anymore. It set me free. Because peace doesn't come from forgiveness. It comes from finally saying no to people who only want your wallet. 1 week later I agreed to meet them, a small diner on 7th Avenue. Neutral ground, no drama, no yelling, just a final conversation. They were already sitting in a booth, Dad, Mom and Emma. 3 faces I used to love without question, now they just looked desperate. I sat down, back straight, calm as still water. This wasn't revenge, this was closure. Dad spoke first. You've made your point, Sarah, now fix this mess. I smiled a little. No, Dad. I fixed it when I stopped paying for your mess. Emma's face turned red. You think you're so much better than us. I think I finally learned that family shouldn't cost this much, I said. Mom's eyes got watery. We're family, you can't abandon us. I looked right at her. You abandoned me first, remember that text? She looked away. The silence was loud. I stood up, ready to leave. This is the last time we do this, I said. I hope you figure things out. But I'm done being your personal ATM. Dad mumbled something about regret. I didn't stay to hear it. Outside, the air felt fresh. The sun was bright and warm on my face. Phoenix looked different somehow. Bigger, more full of possibilities. My chest felt light, like I'd been holding my breath underwater for years and finally came up for air. For the first time ever I wasn't chasing their love, I was choosing my peace, because sometimes closure isn't a big conversation. It's a quiet walk toward your own life. As I crossed the street, the morning sun hit my face. Warm, real, free. I didn't look back, not even once. If you've ever had to walk away from family to save yourself, you're not heartless, you're healing. And healing means learning that your peace matters more than their guilt trips. Today I opened that computer store. It's small but it's mine. And for once that's more than enough. Empowerment.